In statistics, it's important to learn how to pronounce the symbols correctly. The first one I'm going to take a look at is the symbol for the population mean. The symbol for the population mean is pronounced mu. It looks similar to a letter U that's written in cursive. The exception is that on the left-hand side, it's a straight line that goes down below the U part. This is pronounced mu, and it stands for the population mean. If we have a sample and we find the mean of it, we use the symbol X bar. To calculate the mean of both the population and the sample, it is the same process. The formulas look different though. The first formula here begins with mu. That is for the population mean. So I have the population mean equal to x sub 1, which is the first data value, plus x sub 2, the second data value, plus ... until you get to the end of your list, the last data value, x sub n. Now capital N is associated with the population. Capital N stands for the total number of data values in a population. When we add all of the data values up in the numerator, we will have an answer. But instead of having to write it out longhand, frequently it is abbreviated as the summation of x sub I. This Greek letter is called sigma, and in mathematics it means summation, meaning add a lot of values together. And this symbol over on the right tells us what we're adding together. We're adding x sub I, all of the data values, where I will change in numbers from 1 through n. Now let's take a look at the equation for the sample mean, x bar. In this formula, the numerator looks very similar to the numerator for the population, except we have a lowercase n. The lowercase n is still used to signify the total number of data values, but this time for the sample. The median is the second type of measure of center. The median is found by first writing all of the data in ascending order. I'll be quite honest, if I have a lot of data, I type it into a program and have it sort it for me, or just find the median for me. All right, taking a look at this formula, n plus 1 over 2, notice that n plus 1 is all in the numerator, and n still represents the total number of data values. So if I have 10 data values, I have 10 plus 1 divided by 2. Now 10 plus 1 divided by 2 would be 11 divided by 2, or 5.5. That tells me that I want to find the median right smack dab between the 5th data value and the 6th data value when I've written them in ascending order from smallest to largest. In the material you have read so far, you should have been reading about the differences between mean and median in how they are resistant or not resistant to outliers. I think the visual graphs here do a great job of summarizing it. The first graph, the one on the left, shows this long tail on the left. That tells me that the mean is going to be more on the left and the median is going to be more on the right. When we have a symmetric graph, the mean and median tend to be really close together. And for the graph on the right, I see that I have a right-tailed graph or a right-skewed graph. And so my mean is over on the right. The median is resistant to outliers. The mean is affected by outliers. Hence, the mean follows where the tail is at. The mode is the variable or data value that occurs most often. And literally, you just look at the data set and find out which one occurs most often. When looking at a data set that's been arranged with a histogram or a bell curve, the mode is going to be the data value associated with the highest peak. In this graph on the left, there is only one peak, so there is only one mode. With the graph on the right, we can see that this has two peaks that occur to have the same height or really close to the same height. So this is called bimodal. Lastly, this table does a nice job of summarizing the measures of center and when to use them. So on the right, we can see that the mean should be used when data are quantitative and the frequency distribution is roughly symmetric. The median should be used when the data are quantitative and the frequency distribution is skewed, either left or right. The mode is used when we want to know which data value has occurred most frequently, or when we're working with qualitative data. We cannot find the mean or median of qualitative data and have it be meaningful. Only the mode can be used for qualitative data.